going to talk about physician-assisted suicide and euthanasia. First, I wanted to add the fact that I actually worked at a place where a co-worker uh, stressed the fact that how she did not like another co-worker because she was telling them how thinking out ways to kill her mother because where her mother lived it was legal to get aided assistance suicide through the physician, which is called physician assisted suicide, known as euthanasia. So the lady actually, I saw and heard that she called the workplace and told everybody that it's over, and she finally did it, and she's glad it was done. So sad. And when she came back to work, they was eating lunch and talking about it like it was talking about the soap operas. And she told them, I overheard her say something about asphyxiation and how she was going to, or how the family was there, and I think they suffocated her with a plastic bag. And I didn't get all the details, but I heard a little bit of it, enough to keep me curious, my curiosity. So I decided to look into it, and it's true. And I found some facts online about physician-assisted suicide and euthanasia. Well, I'm going to discuss with you some of the facts and the differences and how and why patients feel as though they want to commit suicide or need help to die. So, start with the physician-assisted suicide is the physician when the physician provides the means of information and the patient performs the act. And in euthanasia, the physician performs the intervention. And euthanasia is defined as the act of bringing about the death of hopelessly ill and suffering person in a relatively quick and painless way for reasons of mercy. Physician-assisted suicide is not new. Suffering has always been a part of human existence. Requests to end suffering by means of death through both physician-assisted suicide and euthanasia have occurred since the beginning of medicine. Most physicians receive a request based on the recent study. 57 of physicians practicing today have received a request for physician-aided suicide in some form or another. Many alternatives to physician-assisted suicide exist. While unrelieved physical suffering excuse me, have been greater in the past, modern medicine now has more knowledge and skills to relieve suffering than ever before. Today, specialists in palliative care believe that all patients have had access to careful assessment and optimal symptom control and supportive care. The suffering of most patients with life-threatening illnesses could be reduced sufficiently to eliminate that desire for hastening death. Even when the desire persists, avenues of the physician-assisted suicide or euthanasia is available to remedy suffering and avoid prolonged life against patients' wishes. The legal and ethical debate around physician-assisted suicide is that modern history suggests that the topic comes up periodically because of the added risk of misunderstanding of overriding the patient's wishes. There is currently less support for euthanasia than there are in physician-aided assistance suicide. Nevertheless, both do occur, and physicians need to know how to recognize or respond to either type of request. As the current debate unfolds, there are two principles of which all organized medicines agree: that physicians have an obligation to relieve pain and suffering and to promote the dignity of dying patients in their care, and that the principle in basic bodily integrity requires that physicians must respect patients' competent decision to forego life-sustaining treatment. And in an important event in the present debate occurred in 1997 when the Supreme Court recognized no federal constitutional right to physician-assisted suicide, affirmed that state legislation may choose to legalize it. As of early 1999, Oregon is the only state that has voted to legalize physician-assisted suicide. In contrast, in the PAS debate, the right to palliative care is uniformly acknowledged. The same U.S. Congress or Supreme Court Justice concurring opinion supported the request all Americans to receive palliative care. And the reason why there's research on the reason why each person will have a unique set of reasons he or she would like to hasten death. While it's because in some study, patients who were depressed were 5 times more likely to have made serious inquiries about PAS or euthanasia. Other prominent reasons for requests include fears of future suffering, loss of control, indignity, being a burden to others, and that physician suffering include pain. Physical suffering include pain, and it is less frequent motivator than many think. In one study, Van der Mars, pain alone was a rare motivator in 3% of requests. One of the several motivators in 46% of requests. Not cited as a factor of all the remaining 51% of requests. So, I also could talk a little about why do physicians need to be informed about physician-assisted suicide. Providers need to be informed about assisted suicide. Is because most physicians are likely to receive a request for hastened death. Every physician must be capable of dealing with these difficult requests in a way that responds to the need and expectations of the patient, and that it offers the best possible care that is both ethical and legal. The ability to respond for hastening patient's death with realistic alternative requires that a working knowledge of all aspects of palliative care, an ability to follow usual standards for information, and that they have knowledge of how to provide aggressive symptom control and supportive care, and that they should be aware of the patient's pertinent legal issues, and the ability to work collaboratively with other care disciplines, ideally in an interdisciplinary team. So I guess I'll close it with this, that the vast majority of requests for PAS and euthanasia should abate when physicians are able to assess the root cause of the specific request, make a commitment to the patient's care, address each of the patient's source of suffering, educate the patients about legal alternatives, and seek counsel from our colleagues. I thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed. Take care.